All right, we're here for our first actually dedicated Learn With Me from presented by myself. So what we're going to do today is look at text to image software and creating images for marketing purposes overall. Here we go. All right, let's get the technical stuff out of the way. I did just one slide on the technology behind text to image because I wanted to summarize really the innovations that we're seeing. And these platforms continue to evolve. In fact, they're evolving dramatically. We're going to look at Midjourney in a few minutes, and Midjourney actually has gone through major improvements and improvements with each version. But if we go back and we look back at how this text-to-image technology came about, it was tied to the learning language models revolution that we're seeing, but it goes back quite a bit. So the technical term is called GANs, which is basically an algorithm that is used to train software platforms such as this. So it's a neural network that is looking at basically trainable images. So for example, 64,000 pictures of cats. I'm just picking a number out of the sky. But the software then looks at pictures of cats and builds what's effectively what it does for learning language models, where it takes extended periods of text, sentences and text, and vectorizes them, meaning the computer, the networks can actually learn and start to understand what these images are in terms of text-based instructions. So then it goes to a generator and a discriminator model. So let's just describe this a little bit. And I always want to get this out of the way in the sense that it helps you understand how we can have these platforms work. So the generator takes the training data. It's like the artist. And the discriminator evaluates against that data based on what it knows to be true. And it cycles, and goes through thousands and thousands of iterations, millions actually. So the generator then causes this fake data against it, testing the algorithms basically against what it sees. And then over time, the generator gets better and better and better at indistinguishing between real data and fake data. Now, none of this is perfect at all. And you'll see there's tons of examples of that. In fact, even the most sophisticated text-to-image software platforms have trouble with nowadays with like fingers and angles of the forearm and such like very nuanced creative aspects in an image creation. Okay, so let's actually talk about these tools. They are literally exploding. There are thousands of them now. We're going to look at just a couple, but these image creating tools are being integrated into major platforms, content management systems, productivity software, products like Microsoft Office and Google Work are all, again, building in these capabilities. Canva, for example, you can simply ask it to create an image for you. Now, they're relatively crude for sure, and they're not very sophisticated in terms of high-level content planning and branding issues, but they're getting better and better every day. So the numbers are literally in the thousands and exploding, and the way they're being applied is exploding. The image on the right is actually from DALL-E that I created just a few minutes ago, where I'll show you the prompt, but it was basically just give me an image of the explosion of creation tools in the numbers, and it did that image in DALL-E in GPT-4 in just a few seconds. So let's take a look at Discord, actually. And the reason we're going to talk about Discord is because of Midjourney. Midjourney is a platform that is accessible through Discord. Discord is a server-based community and access platform for developers and applications. You access Midjourney through the Midjourney bot, which handles an account setup. Again, Midjourney, I've been using Midjourney for about a year now. It's been used by a lot of creative folks, and it's kind of in many ways a standard, a gold standard for text to image creation. Again, you access it through Discord. It's $10 US a month, and we're now in version 6. I think so. So that's maybe 3, 4, 5, and 6 have been around for about 16 months. So these evolutions of the platform are much dramatic improvements. So nuances in positioning, lighting, realistic detail, angle, prompt capabilities. And we're going to go through some prompts in a minute. So let's actually take a look at Discord. I'm going to share the Discord server. Oops. Here we go. All right. So what you're looking at is Discord now. Actually, we're looking at the reading group that is run by someone here in Toronto, Elena. Anyway, here we are. We're in Discord now. We're in Discord, and I'm switching to Midjourney. So this is what Midjourney looks like at its base, and this is what all the server basic Discord looks like. Here on the left is the nav bar, and here I've just pulled up the getting started because I thought it would be helpful to show. So here, once your access into Midjourney is running, here's the basic prompt, very, very basic prompt structure. It's / imagine, and then whatever you want to type. And it gets much, much, much richer and more complex from this moment on. But that's how you interface with Midjourney to get started. And you can see the animation there is prompting vibrant California poppies. So this is a whole community. As you can see on the left, there's polls, there's status, there's announcements, there's newcomer rooms, and then there's chat. And then there's a showcase area here where people are showcasing their work. And then this is where the general image generation is done on this left-hand side, all these rooms. We'll drop into one of the newbie rooms and see what's going on. So here you go. And let's describe the actual interface here. I'll describe it for you. If you can see from this, we'll take this image here. I'll blow it up just so we can see it. It looks like a restaurant scene. As you can see, it's pretty sophisticated and nuanced. But look how simple the prompt is. Take a photo of a juice restaurant with real people inside. That's so detailed and nuanced than many other tools or previous versions. So here we go. I just want to explain the interface here for a bit. U1, U2, U3, U4 are upscaling. If you were going to upscale and choose one of these images for input, V1, V2, V3, V4, 1, 2, 3, 4 correspond to those images, and that means variations on. So if we clicked V4 here, we would start a new job and have it do variations of those images. It's quite fascinating to just see what people are working on in Midjourney. The sheer volume, the sheer nuanced and range of images is astonishing. So let's go down into some of the general rooms. Okay. As you can see here, it's much more elaborate, these prompts. And we'll take a look at them. So that's Midjourney in terms of its use. Let's let's take a look at the prompts and how to prompt. Oops. Okay, here we go. All right, now I want to talk about prompt structure. Um, Here we go. So this is, and also some performance issues. This is a prompt, again, from Midjourney. What I've done here is that I've taken a number of random images and also the corresponding prompts. So we can step through and get some nuanced aspects of it here. So here's the prompt. A soldier from an army of ancient Magdada, holding a longbow, wearing a white dhoti and a turban, clean shaven, no beard, mustache, large ear gauges, photorealistic, outdoor lighting, black eyeliner. Now, if you look at the images, you can see that some things have been realized and some things are not. Every single character has a beard, and they all have mustaches, but they also do have large ear gauges, and the outdoor lighting is correct. So you can see in many ways the nuanced aspect and the performance issues of the prompt engineering are important, but they aren't perfect, and they certainly aren't realized in each image. A more specific prompt here is this one. A soldier from the army of ancient same army, holding a longbow, wearing a white dhoti and a turban, clean shaven, ear gauges, photorealistic outdoor lighting. Now, clean shaven is not responding here at all, but the rest is. And this is the image that the artist chose. Here's another example and kind of the reverse kind of prompt engineering. This is the most simple prompt you can possibly see, but yet the pattern, and I've just laid it out here, the pattern was behind. The way the simple way the pattern is described, but yet it's so powerful. And the nuance here is the vector command, which allows, you know, which tells the engine to not do an image which is pixel based, but more vector design. And as you see here, also we have aspect ratios. All these are controlled in the prompts. The prompts can be very elaborate and very technical, and they frequently are. Here's another prompt. A photo of a 50s brunette housewife with a stern expression and her unsmiling blonde toddler daughter. Black and white, very high quality, realistic. This is a variation on an image. And I brought it in because it's fascinating, because it's dead on, except do they really look human? Is there something kind of strangely unhuman here? I think so. The eyes give it away. But this is an example of how nuanced and powerful and stylistic the Midjourney images can be. Okay, moving on to some more elaborate prompt engineering, and this includes lens specifications and a great deal of detail. So here we have an expansive aerial view of Jerusalem during the Six-Day War, the city engulfed in the heat of battle. Dense arrangement of Israeli tanks, battalions of soldiers on the move, smoke billows from strategic points around the city's walls, there's aircraft in the sky, and there is, even though they're small. and a photorealistic style, high resolution. And here we actually specify a Canon lens and camera, an EOS 5D SR. That's a very specific detail in the prompt. An aerial perspective, an ISO 400, a lens focal length set at 200 millimeters, f4 exposure for depth and clarity, and late afternoon. So this is also an aspect ratio of 16:9. And these images, you can't quite make them out, but they are very, very detailed. And some aspects are caught, some are not, but the overall general quality of the output is astonishing when you consider the level of detail there. So then if we look at the actual image that is chosen by the artist, here we have this roughly the same prompt engineering, but slightly different. Here we have a monochrome film. We have a dynamic composition. There's more energy and the aspect ratio, but the lens actually is the lens. We have a slight change in detail. But if you look at the image, what you can see, the call out is a little big there. The amazing level of detail and nuance and resolution. If you look back at the image on the left-hand side behind the city walls, look at how many buildings are represented there. So it's really amazing to generate this sort of quality this quickly. And is it accurate? Is it correct? To a degree, for sure. But if you're using these for marketing purposes and it needs to be correct or historically correct, that's another aspect of the human responsibility. Okay. Simple one kind of is grabbed me in terms of stylistically. Just this, all the text was, all the prompt was an image of a Mexican Katrina, a colorful. And this is version 6 again of Midjourney. The fast refers to the way the model is given the instructions to build. But look at how beautiful and esoteric and yet compelling these images are in terms of style. And dead on, right? Here's another one perfect for marketing. I mean, in many ways, I don't know what we're marketing here, fruit cut with smoke, but still, the only aspect of the prompts here was watermelon, pineapple, spelled wrong, by the way, obviously, melon in the dark, atmosphere with smoke. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, there's two coming up here, and I just wanted to show you some nuanced differences. All the prompt here is for a close-up of a candid disabled female wheelchair user playing tennis, and a 16:9 aspect ratio, style raw. Beautiful, nuanced image. And interestingly, from the back, but she looks real in the chair. That looks like a real human, even though we can't see her fingers. Here is the same image with the same prompt from DALL-E, the free service from GPT-4. And you can see, without giving it much more nuance in terms of the prompt engineering, you're getting more of a cartoony, unrealistic kind of image. Like, where is the racket going? And it's not touching her, and the ball is flying straight ahead. So that just shows you kind of the space between these platforms, and the ones being included in the text to image capabilities built into things like Canva and Microsoft Office tools are similar or more or cruder than this, but everything is advancing very quickly. Just the sheer progress that text to image resolution and photorealism has developed in the last 10 months is astonishing. I can only imagine what it's going to be in a year. Plus, at the same time, the text to video tools are emerging as quickly as even quicker. There's even more energy behind those developments. And today I posted a video from OpenAI this morning on the platform that shows you how advanced the text to video tools are becoming. So take a look at that. Okay, so what are the impact on marketing from these platforms? Well, it gives a unparalleled freedom to visualize ideas. And you know, this can be research, planning, strategy, mood board creation, brand development, brand identity, all the way to campaign development. And, many marketers are using these tools already. If the prompt engineering is yours, the copyright is yours, and you are creating these images and can use them in marketing. There is no real cheating here in my mind. I think people may think that, but we're not using direct images here. These images are generated by the platforms. And of course, they are cost efficient and effective. Stock photo, yes, but can we replace stock photos with computer generated images? Of course we can. And then storytelling. I didn't talk about it, but we're going to put it up as in terms of resources. Midjourney now has character development functionality that we put in the prompts, and this character development functionality would allow you to build a character like a Pixar character or something, and then create multiple images and multiple scenarios where the same brand elements are brought in. So what you're basically doing is locking it down. If you wanted to create a Mickey Mouse, for example, then you can train Midjourney to actually put Mickey in different scenarios and doing different things, which of course leads to a whole nother conversation. So how do we sum this up? We're leveraging machine learning to understand and interpret these prompts, and because of the vast data set of images, and I won't get into the copyright images or the issues with lawsuits in terms of LLM training, but the same kind of rules apply. Artists are concerned about their images being being stolen and trained, and that's a viable discussion. But the technology is moving so fast, and the jurisdictions involved are so vague, so large, and so nebulous that you don't have much decisions there or much existing law. So for marketers, it means the ability to quickly visualize concepts, products, and campaigns without the need for huge graphic design resources that so many of us have used in the past. Okay. So I'm going to open up to questions. We're going to post resources here, but if you have any questions, we can talk about them, or I can share them or zero in. If you've got any, let me know. Francesco said, "Can you upload an image?" You can. You can, Francesco. You can train it on images, and that's kind of what I was talking about with the character development. There are specific instructions on how to do that best, and those are available on the Midjourney prompt engineering. What we're probably going to do is do more workshopping on the platform for specific projects and specific marketing needs. So A/B testing, for example, or product launch. Negative prompting. What do you mean by that, Stuart? Removing things?
Well, can you hear me? Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, brilliant. Sorry, because I'm having trouble connecting as always. um, when I've been doing some prompting, they've been talking about negative prompting, whereby if it's showing things that you don't want to appear and it just keeps doing it ad infinitum, you put in a negative prompt to try and stop it from doing that. And I've not managed to do it yet. I just keep getting repetitions of the same mistakes over and over again.
Yes, I know, Stuart. I think that's very, very problematic with certain kinds of image development too. That's definitely the case with text-heavy content.
Yeah.
And that's something that version 6 of Midjourney has struggled to improve. And there are specific, we're going to post it, but there's a Reddit forum specifically for Midjourney prompts. There's tons of resources, and I didn't want to show them all or list them here. We'll do that in a subsequent document. But yes, I would advise you then the best thing to do is then take that prompt, literally take it to GPT and say, "Can you improve this prompt?"
Oh,
And
okay.
and iterate. Okay.
Yes, yeah.
That has worked. I think it can work. But if you really start getting the same thing back, rewrite the prompt and see if you can do it that way. But it's kind of funny, when you started talking and we asked that question, it occurred to me because I actually did play around, and I do have the files. I could show them to you, but they're not that interesting. Where I was using, I was asking Midjourney and Dolly to create logos and brand identity elements for me and AI.
Hmm.
And it did a terrible job with the typography. It just kind of the letters, it didn't respect the letters. So it is something that it's another one of the aspects of Midjourney that they're working to improve, I know. But Midjourney 6 has some definite improvements overall.
Good answer, thank you. And to be fair, I've only really been using the free things. I've not actually used Midjourney yet at all, but it was just something I was experiencing with ChatGPT with the free version, the basic version. So I'm wondering if it's a bit dumbed down and it's not as good. Do you get better when you pay?
I think yeah, to a degree, yes. I think
Hmm.
that rule does apply in general, but there's huge improvements all around happening. The thing is, they're happening at all the time. So
It's changing
that's
constantly and so rapidly. It's like,
yes, and so rapidly. So I don't. I am again. I'm using the paid version of Midjourney, but I have noticed a dramatic improvement in Dolly. Now
mhm.
there's so many now, and not only are they tied to the LLMs in some ways they're not if they're included. So I think you can look for improvements on the free ones for sure.
Mhm.
Um, but yes, don't be afraid. And I meant to talk about this in the presentation, but we'll talk about it now, is absolutely go through an iterative process whenever you're doing this sort of work in terms of a workflow. It depends upon the scale at which you're doing it, but always save your images and build a document with the prompts so you can see the progress. And because of the way Midjourney works in terms of iterating the variations, sometimes you go back and relook at the ones you wanted before. But it's absolutely true that GPT can help you with the prompting. Just,
Right.
take the prompt, put it into GPT, say what you're having trouble with, and it can do a very good job sometimes. Also, it might invariably rewrite the prompt in language that just simply works better.
Yeah. All right. Brilliant. Thank you for that.
All right. Okay. Thanks for the questions. Anyone else? Thank you, Elena. Yes. We're going to follow up with a resource document with some links and postings based on this one. And we're going to do some more workshops for sure. We're going to get our hands on with a couple working experts. There's some really incredible videos too on YouTube that show people working with Midjourney. But for marketers specifically, this ties into a bigger discussion of automation in marketing, testing in marketing, content management, social marketing management, where you do a few versions, 6 or 7 versions using Midjourney or another text to image program to generate on brand. And again, what we'll do is a follow-up. I will post some links to the new character capabilities within Midjourney, where you can make sure that the branding and the any character development you do in Midjourney will be duplicated. Okay? Anything else? Alrighty. I'm going to end it there. Thank you, folks, for showing up. And please, we have some new content on the community today. Liz and I did a couple videos, and we're just about the 310 member mark and growing. So thanks for all showing up and kicking around. Please fill out your profiles and no dumb questions. Please post to the feed and engage any or all of us. All right. All righty, folks. Thanks.